Hello, Facebook friends. Jerry Garner, your neighborhood realtor, back at you, getting a little bit more real estate information. Hopefully, things that'll be helpful when and if you are considering purchasing a house or selling a house. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the escrow process. In the past, we've talked about the market and getting prepared to buy or sell a house, and things that are important. And today, once you've made an offer or accepted an offer, and you open escrow, these are kind of the things that happen. Escrow is normally 30 to 45 days long. There are some that are a little shorter, a little longer, but most of them are 30 or 45 days long. So what happens is once an offer is accepted, the buyer has maximum of 3 days to get the earnest money deposit into escrow. Escrow holds that deposit, usually 1 to 3% of the purchase price. And they hold that escrow as part of the down payment money that the buyer will bring the balance of in at the close. Now, big question always is that money at risk? Let's say it's $5,000, $10,000. Is that $10,000 at risk? And the answer is maybe. Normally, you have 3 contingencies, 3 escape clauses, and they normally are about 17 days from acceptance of the offer. So during those first 17 days, the answer is no, your money is not at risk. So on day 17, you will remove contingencies. After that point in time, your money is at risk. You back out after you've removed your contingencies, and the seller is very likely to keep your deposit. So we want to be prepared for that day 17. And again, it's only fair to both sides. 17 days is enough time to do your inspections, to check on termite, all those kinds of things. So we want to, remove those contingencies so the seller knows his house is sold and that you are locked in. And again, you can't back out after that date, so we need to be sure. During those 17 days, we will schedule a home inspection. We may have a termite inspection done. We may drive through the neighborhood Friday night at 10 o'clock to verify the condition of the neighborhood. And then, of course, once we've done a home inspection, that's usually the first thing within about a week of opening escrow, we want to do a home inspection. Once the home inspection is complete and we're satisfied with the results, or they've agreed to do any repairs, at that point in time, the appraiser comes out and appraises the house. Now, that home inspection costs you about $300, $350, and an appraisal costs about $500 or $550. So we don't want to spend the $550 until we're okay with the repairs. Then once we are, we'll get the appraisal done. Now, just know that the contract says the home must appraise for at least what we offered. And if it doesn't, we can either back out of the offer, get our deposit back, less any money we've spent. Now, if we paid for a home inspection, we paid for an appraisal, that money's gone. But that may be better than accepting a big problem with the house. We may have found major issues. And if we do, we either negotiate with the seller to fix them, to drop the price, or we can back out. Once we're satisfied with that, we get the inspection done, we get the appraisal done. The appraisal comes back at value, and normally it doesn't come back higher because the appraiser knows the number he's got to meet. So if it's worth that, he'll generally come in at that number. Sometimes it comes in above, but rarely. We get the inspection done, we get the appraisal done, we're satisfied, we remove our contingencies on day 17. In the background, escrow is working with title. They're running a preliminary title report to show if there's any liens against the property, things owed, because the title company is going to guarantee that the loan is free and clear of liens on the property, past bank taxes, anybody who's sued you and put a lien against the house. Sometimes it's child support. One time I had a bail bond against the house. Anyways, escrow has to clear those liens before you close. So they're working in the background. Your lender is completing all the paperwork for your loan. The bank may verify and re-verify income and finances and jobs and bank accounts and those kind of things. And that's okay, because remember, they're giving you a lot of money and they're believing you're going to pay it back. So, we can't really blame them for checking and rechecking. All this is happening. We get to be about a week to 10 days before we close escrow. The lender will call and say, gee, it's time to close. It's time to sign loan documents. Loan documents are very important. That's where you're promising to pay what you owe, what you're borrowing from the bank. And a notary is going to come out and they're going to run through the contract, have you sign it. They're going to take a thumbprint and they're going to notarize your signature. They'll go back to the bank for review, take a day or two. Then about 3 or 4 days later, the loan will fund. Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it takes a little longer, but the loan will fund. It means the bank sends the money to escrow. It normally funds on one day, and the following day, the title company records your name on the title. Once it's recorded, you own the home. Now, one more thing we want to make sure we do. 3 to 5 days before we close escrow, we want to go back out to the property, not with the intent of finding new things to complain about or have repaired, but simply to make sure that the things that they promised to do are done. There's been no vandalism, and basically it's in the same condition it was when you last saw it and what you expect it to be. If it is, we'll sign a VP, a verification of property, and we will wait for funding and closing, and then we'll celebrate with a key ceremony very shortly after. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful. Any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. Cell phone, text, email. I'll be glad to help, whether you're ready to buy, sell, or just curious. Either is fine. Have a great day. And keep in mind here, February 27th, Monday at 2 o'clock, I'm actually going to do a webinar, and that one's going to be about, do you really need a realtor, or can you do without one? And if so, why? Is it financially beneficial to use one, or can I save the money? Those types of things. Anyway, you have a great day. We'll talk soon.